We got big board drafts. We got brackets. We got Bhayshul Tuten debates. I'm Pete Overzet. This is Best Ball Breakfast. Let's draft some teams, talk a little March Madness, do the damn thing.
It really isn't that hard, guys. You just go top two, win it, win it. Okay, I think we can be done here at running back. You only have 3 running backs. This roster is littered with game theory, arbitrage, exploits, and theoretic reasoning. Bro, light mode, my eyes, dude. I don't know, I prefer that move more in a time box contest. Bro, have you ever scrolled so far down that there's no more names, bro? Don't do drugs, kids. Draft and drive instead. You can't have it both ways, dude. Quid pro quo.
All right, GMs all around. What is up? Bindles, Chunk the Deuce, GM, aka General Motors from Money Ain't a Thing. Nick says bad weather and in C today means no school, which means a live best ball breakfast for the first time in forever. I thought about that during a few of our snow days here earlier, how if you're a teacher or if you're a kid, snow days are the best thing ever. And if you are a parent or someone who still has to get into work on a snow day, they are the worst things ever. But congratulations on your free day, Nick. What is up? Chad, SBY, the Fish Keeper, Cross X-Face here just says, shut up, put the fries in the bag, pour that coffee. You know, I am a little sensitive to comments that are aggro around here, like the individual who called me a doorknob last week. But you know what? I know what my role is here on this show. You certainly aren't here for the analysis. You're here for the coffee pours. And who am I to begrudge you that coffee pour? So let's get it started. We got a fresh pot here on March 16th at 10:03 a.m. Eastern time. Here it is. All right, we'll keep some in the chamber there. Unfortunately, I dripped a little bit here, which is going to tilt the crap out of me. I think I might just get out ahead of it. I'm going to pour a little bit of my water on the shirt. See, this is what happens. This is what happens when I pour the coffee on the chat's time and not with my own pacing. We make a catastrophic drip, and I'm going to be fighting to recover for the rest of the show. What is up, Cam Goods, Nick P, Gab? What is up, Judson? My guy J Mike, always asking for a highlight from the weekend. You know what? It was a really good weekend. The weather was just barely cooperative enough. It was a little cold, but we got out for walks both days. April right now, she won't nap in her crib. Like the days of napping in her crib are completely over. So the only 2 ways we can get a nap are in the car and in the stroller. I know this isn't a unique thing for anyone whose parents they've gone through this likely, but getting really long walks while she naps is just like the ultimate win-win. So get like our walk outside, get my steps in. April gets to snooze and is in a much better mood for the rest of the day. So that was good. And we went to a friend's birthday party. Another one of our mutual friends has a kid who turned 4, and they had it at a pretty cool, fun place. So good to catch up with some friends. April had a great time. So yeah, you know, a very parent-filled weekend, but a good one nonetheless. What is up, Minnesota? Brady? No snow days in Southern Florida. We're going to be doing a family vacation in Florida next Tuesday. So we'll have best ball breakfast next week. The following week, it might be delayed because I'm going to be out. But yes, excited to not see snow in Florida. What is up? Achievers Harbs is ready for March Madness. So let's draft some best ball teams. You know, that's the beauty about March Madness. You know, it's not like, I guess if you're drafting the college basketball contests on Underdog, which unfortunately are not available to me in the state of Massachusetts, you do have to start cranking. But we have until Thursday to set the brackets, which, by the way, thank you for reminding me, for the first time ever, Underdog is hosting brackets. You don't have to go to ESPN. You don't have to go to Yahoo. You don't have to go to CBS. You don't have to go to a million different places. Now, the one bummer thing is I don't see this available on desktop right now. It is live on mobile, and I have already created a bracket for all of us. I have it pinned in the chat. It looks like one of you has signed up here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that well on here, but if you just go to your Underdog app, you'll see bracket battle right there. And I have pinned in the chat a link to join the Deposit Kingdom Bracket Challenge, I am going to, on the fly right here, name a couple of prizes that I'm going to toss in. And who knows, maybe we can find some other sponsors, some other people who want to kick into the prize pool. But I will say this right now. If you win this bracket challenge, however many entries ends up being, you will get a priority spot to come on Best Ball Bash and draft a bigger board team with me. So bigger board, $100 entry. You come on, my treat will split any of the winnings, and we will draft a team on Best Ball Bash. Now, if this contest ends up filling, hopefully there's another, bigger board part 2, but we'll figure it out. You'll get to draft a $100 team with me. I will also be tossing in a $100 gift card to the store. So if you want to get your Best Ball Breakfast merch, Ship Chasing merch, Bad Bros merch, whatever you want, those are just 2 off the top of my head. We'll see if any other sponsors come forward, but join the bracket challenge. If you guys are listening to this on playback or on audio, I will be sure to put the link in the show notes on both YouTube and on podcast/Spotify. So there you go. Excited to watch a little March Madness. I have not watched much college basketball at all this year. That will, I'm sure, shock you. But I am, of course, a sucker like so many people for March Madness. So join the Deposit Kingdom Underdog bracket battle, and we will have a good time. Yes, the chat's still now roasting me for spilling the coffee. It is certainly deserved. We have Brandon flexing on me. 100 degrees in Tucson, Arizona. Unreal. Let's see. Any tips on how to cope with this Kyler Murray sticker shock? Okay, you tell me, because I am right now, I'm an exclusive on-stream drafter. I have not been in the streets over the weekend. I have not been in the streets since you last saw me in the street. So you tell me, where is Kyler Murray going right now? I need to know. What is the sticker shock on Kyler Murray? That is what I need to know here. What part of Florida? We're going to go down to Key West. Just do some beach, do some pool, and I've never been down there. But they had some good direct flights from Boston, so we said, you know what? Let's head down there and check it out. Saw Kyler at 80 yesterday. What is his ADP right here, right now? And I assume you're saying it's a fake ADP on Kyler. Kyler Murray, yeah, ADP of 113. So jumping up into the 80 range. Let me share my screen. Let's talk this out a little bit and see what seems like a fair price for our guy, Kyler Murray. Now on the Minnesota Vikings, throwing to Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. So ADP wise, or I guess positionally, he's right now QB 19. So yeah, that's definitely going to change. I understand that he is going to flip a few of these guys here. The QB ADPs in general, to me, I guess I don't know if I have disagreements with the exact ordering. It's more just like this Drake May to Patrick Mahomes range seems way overpriced relative to the Brock Purdy to Kyler Murray range. I think I would just much more be willing to live in the kind of arbitrage versions of a lot of these players who are like 2.5 rounds deeper. But just looking at this purely, yeah, I think you can make the case for Kyler Murray to be going right up here around Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy. I have not seen where the rankings providers have settled on these, but I will check that out as well while we stream. Here's some more data points. Bukowski's done 2 drafts. Kyler's gone at 78 and 88. ADP and 120 on the Saturdays. Crutches was a full Kyler fade last year in the 90s, but he should probably go there this year in an elite system with solid O-line, if not higher. Yeah, it's one of those two where he probably can inch up higher. Like looking at these names, obviously he's not going to flip Hurts or May. But I think he could easily get up to QB8, right? He could jump Herbert. I mean, I guess if you're saying he's going 78, he already is. But yeah, I don't know how much higher he could rise. maybe I could see stuff coming out this summer. There's always that moment where the projections come out, ranks get more widely distributed, and we'll see a little bit of flippening up here. But yeah, it's actually a really interesting year for the quarterbacks, just getting some of these guys at a lot cheaper prices than we have historically. I mean, this Jalen Hurts price, I know I've taken him in a few drafts, seems awesome to me at 70. And I'm certainly willing to be in on Kyler. It's a bummer though, because it's like we get all of the memes of, Kyler's too short, Kyler can't get the ball to his number one, yada, yada. I wish we could kind of get that discount in drafts a little bit, but it doesn't seem like we're going to get the haterade discount when it comes to, I think it's ultimately going to be a lot of the stacking dynamics too that make him so attractive. Anytime you have a couple of these wide receivers going early, anytime you take Justin Jefferson, that drafter is going to be on high alert for Kyler. And now we'll probably get the dynamic with a lot of double taps with Jordan Addison, Kyler Murray, right? Like that's going to be a pretty attractive thing at, what would it be? Like the 7-8 turn where you just take Kyler and grab Jordan Addison. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of factors that are going to make Kyler a pretty attractive pick to people. All right, let's see here. GM Steven. Yeah, I guess it's probably draft room dependent. Crutch is still getting shares 100 to 115. Seeing 100, 105. So yeah, it sounds very room dependent right now. Kyler needs Michael Thomas. Well, guess what? I think Justin Jefferson is a better version of Michael Thomas. So I think he's going to be okay in that regard. If Kyler fails in Minnesota, it won't be because of lack of weaponry. That is for sure. But it is exciting. Like the whole thing that made Kyler such a fun fantasy asset early on in his career was how much he was running. And if we can get someone in a system that is getting a few more designed runs for him, and then you pair that with elite weaponry. I mean, Jefferson and Addison is as good of a 1-2 punch at wide receiver as you're going to get in the NFL. I mean, there's no more excuses at this point. If Kyler fails, it's on him, because he is set up for success in Minnesota. All right, let's see here. Normally, I try to be a little stealthy hopping in the draft. I like to tip off the people early. I'll try to tip off people for the second draft, but I'm hopping in now. It's free for all. First come, first serve. And we will draft a big board draft here. Which number is this for me? Is this 6 or 7? Number six. I forgot to label this one last week. That was 311. Yeah, we did 2 drafts on the first, 3 drafts on the second. Let me see here. I was going to try to get some updated rankings in here just so I have my bearings a little bit. I don't know, like what would be the other big moves that would have changed since we did the stream last Tuesday? I mean, we did have the Chris Rodriguez signing. I know that has been the hot topic of conversation on Twitter and in Discord lately. I guess that's another question for those of you who have been drafting. Have you guys seen different price points for Tuten? I see his ADP right now at 56. Have you guys been seeing him fall on this Chris Rodriguez news? Or are the Bhayshul Tuten slappies holding the line, defending the wall, and not letting Tuten slip too far? Game Tight, first time subscriber. Thanks for all the great content. Hey, I appreciate you. This almost feels like a bot comment, but I will take it. I am not in the business of being choosy of how these subscribers find their way to the chat. But if you happen to be new, if you happen to be like Game Tight, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. We will be ramping things up over the next month or so. We'll be adding back Best Ball Bash. Later in the summer, of course, the randomizer. We'll have Best Ball Breakfast. We're going to have weekly shows with Often on the Clock, where we're going to dive into a lot of the side contests. So subscribe to the channel. We're going to have all kinds of best ball content this summer. And as always, I will service the audio listeners as well. I get all of these videos and audio up on Spotify, and then that'll get pushed to whatever podcast service you use. You can just search for the In a Vacuum podcast feed, or In a Vacuum in your podcast feed, and you will find every episode of Best Ball Breakfast there in video podcast form. All right, we are on the clock here. Should we just do it and do Justin Jefferson? I mean, we're going to talk about Kyler Murray. Let's take Justin Jefferson, and as the Justin Jefferson drafter, we can then, at least remove one other drafter, or hopefully a lot of drafters who will not be in contention for naked Justin Jefferson, or naked Kyler Murray, I should say, and see if we can get a good price on him. Let's see here. Devon Achane. Do we want to do some Achane here? We can do some Achane. I'm not necessarily stoked about Malik Willis and what that means for the skill position players. I do feel like a lot of Achane's value came in the receiving game. I'm not sure how much of that we're going to be able to count on from Malik Willis, but I think the hope is just that Malik Willis is solid, that because of him and all of his designed runs, that the offense is just more dynamic, that teams aren't able to hone in on things quite as much as they were with the Tua version, and that Achane can continue to deliver explosive plays, whether that's through the run game or through the passing game. But yeah, that's a tough spot. I know Jeremiah Love goes there a lot. He goes one pick after I select him. The other picks who immediately follow: George Pickens, Trey McBride, Kenneth Walker, Barkley. I don't love that range there. After Cook and Jefferson come off the board, the turn goes Genty, Hampton. Then it's Achane, Love, Pickens, McBride, Walker, Barkley, Chase Brown, Derrick Henry. I don't know if there's one pick there that jumps out to me as just feeling like a smash. But Achane feels relatively safe to me as a guy with no questions, kind of with his talent and his ability to deliver explosives. He handled, I think, a bigger workload last year than maybe people envisioned heading into it. I guess you do have a little year two Ollie Gordon risk. Like, does he morph into more of a Raheem Mostert, who's being more of a pain in the ass in Achane's side? But I just don't think that's necessarily who Ollie Gordon is. Even if he steals a few goal lines, I think Achane can be all right there. We'll see. What do you guys think on Achane here? Yeah, Crutches isn't in on Achane. Yeah, the Jeremiah Love. I guess what? Everybody and their mother is mocking Jeremiah Love to Tennessee now, right? That's like the chalk, which obviously a top 5 running back pick. Those have historically been smash assets. I could see that being the best pick there. Yeah. Friedman, who's the most accurate mock drafter, I think like 5 years running now, he has Jeremiah Love going 4th overall to the Titans there. It is a pretty fun, I think it was last week someone was asking about, what are the fun, cheap offenses to buy in on? And it's hard not to get excited about the Titans. If they do add Jeremiah Love, take a little bit of heat off of Cam Ward. You get all those year 2 guys. We now get Gunnar Helm. The Red Sea is parting for him with Chigakonkwo out of town. You get all those second-year wide receivers, Ellick. All right, I'm back on the clock, though. We are in prime wide receiver territory, although Bucky is here as well. I'm just going to grab Bucky because there's a lot of wide receivers here that I'm going to feel good about. And I just know from the few drafts I've done, I don't necessarily love my my running back options if I push it. Man, I'm just not a lad guy. I do like Zay. Devontae's always a solid bet there. Igbuka's kind of interesting. I think Zay is just like the guy I feel best about. I like that situation. I think Zay's a baller. I think he ran really poor on touchdowns for the majority of last year. He's like the guy who, if he added 2 or 3 more touchdowns throughout the season, like he's probably going, more in this mid-third range. I'm just spooked on like the lad stuff, for sure. This turn here, the Rashee Rice Lad McConkey, that is not for the faint of heart, right there. You got to have the stones to double up on those two. So it sounds like a lot of you guys are worried about the Dolphins offense. I will say this, it's extremely volatile, right? Like, I think it's a wide range of outcomes. We've seen Malik Willis look awesome on a limited sample. It's still a limited sample. I think in my heart of hearts, I'm probably more of a Malik Willis bear than I am a bull, in thinking that the sample size is a little deceptive, and that he had a pretty good setup there in Green Bay. That said, I do think the ceiling case is when he is functional, when he does kind of settle in as a starting quarterback. Those scenarios are pretty exciting. When he's connecting on the deep ball, when he is, ripping off some big runs, keeping defenses honest, like that version of the offense to me seems pretty fun. But I do agree with you guys. It's no lock. It's not a safe offense to invest in. Certainly feels fragile to me. Oh my God, I forgot about this. I talked about this with Kendall on After Dark. Did you guys see this? Travis Etienne says, no. It's not Etienne. Stop calling me Etienne. This dude says that the correct way to pronounce his last name, that is spelled Etienne, is Achan. What? What, like, I understand this has been a dynamic that has happened to a few of these players where they basically have this pronunciation, their true pronunciation of their name. A bunch of reporters, a bunch of jackasses like me get it wrong. And then they're too kind of shy to basically correct people. And then they're like, I guess this is just how people say my name. I understand that. But for it to, one, be wrong, but to not only be so far off, like Etienne and Achan don't even look the same. And then on top of that, for it to be the same pronunciation of another NFL running back with a last name that is spelled differently? What I mean, is he trolling us? It feels like Travis and Trevor Achan are trolling us. I don't know about this. All right, let's see here. I mean, I did Christian Watson last week. I still like Christian Watson in this range. Pretty spooked on the Scatabo stuff. Has Scatabo been falling a little bit? Let me see here. I was going to try to get some updated ranks in. Let me see if I can get... I don't know if this is the right file or not, but we will try. Okay. I do think these are the right. I don't know how updated these are. Okay. We are back on the clock here. Yeah, let's do a quarterback. We got our 2 running backs. We have 3 wide receivers here. Let's go ahead and take Jaden Daniels. I believe my first Jaden Daniels share of the year. Most of my drafts have been on the left side of the board, so I've had more of like the Hurts, the Caleb. Let's grab Jaden Daniels here, 6th round. So here's our team. Once again, staying kind of balanced, which has been my MO in these early drafts as I get my feet wet. Jaden Daniels at quarterback at pick 62. 2 running backs, Devon, not Trevor or Travis, Achan. We have Bucky Irving, who we should talk about again. Seems like he's falling a smidge on the Kenny Gainwell signing. And then 3 wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Zay Flowers, and Christian Watson. There's the squad so far here. Yeah, so it looks like everybody's down on the Dolphins here. Dolphins will be a top 5 pick next year and don't like drafting Achane that high with a QB that will run instead of dumping the ball off. Not a lot of confidence in Slowick either. I hear you guys. I don't have good pushbacks. I think you're just buying a known commodity who has actually shown an ability to score fantasy points in subpar environments as is. Can be highly efficient, rip off those big plays. I guess my counter would be is I just have just as many question marks as a lot of these guys in round 2. I mean, structurally, we've talked about how the Trey McBride stuff really puts you behind the 8 ball at other positions. George Pickens is the classic wide receiver 2 on his own team who overproduces in the touchdown department, and then you have to pay the top sticker price for him the next year. We've done that song and dance with T. Higgins. We've done it with Devonta Smith. We've done it with Jalen Waddle, and then they snap back 2-3 rounds later when touchdown variant swings in the other direction, so you can pull holes in that. Jeremiah Love, I think he's really, really good. We also thought Genty was really, really good, and we know how external factors with quarterback play and offensive line can make these rookies tough bets at these prices. You know, the Kenneth Walker price is starting to get pretty frothy here. Barkley bombed last year. Chase Brown still seems fragile to the Bengals drafting a competent running back. I mean, you can go down the line and poke holes at all of these guys, but I hear you guys. I hear you. I will be more cautious on Devon Achane going forward. Trevor Achane and Travis Achane are name mogging us. Yeah, copy paste thinks it's a psyop. In the clip, Trevor sounds like a soft T with what he's saying. Okay. Etchen? Etchen? I don't know why I started whispering it. He was born as an ETN, but identifies as an HN. There you go. All right. We are about to be on the clock. Everybody always be drafting fast in these streets. Wow. Josh Allen went at the 2-3 turn. We are back on the clock here. I just want to lock up. I want to see if I can set up this double stack. Let's, we've been talking about Kyler all morning. I love Jordan Addison. I have Justin Jefferson. Let's again see if we can get squatters' rights on Kyler Murray as our quarterback 2. You guys have been saying that. Here's the question. Can we get Kyler at 107? That's the question. I'm not going to pull the trigger on him here. Our next pick's at 107. You guys have been saying you've been getting him in the 100 to 115 range. I have both Addison and Jefferson. Let's see if cooler heads can prevail here. I'm going to draft Ricky Pearsall. I don't know if I have any strong takes on that. Other than I do think Ricky Pearsall is better suited to be a high-end wide receiver too. I just don't think he's that guy who can, funnel, you can run an offense through. So I actually kind of like the Mike Evans signing for Ricky Pearsall. Let him play outside, let him win outside one-on-one while Mike Evans draws more attention there. And I think if you're just kind of arbitraging the Niners offense, which year after year produces high-end fantasy performers, I mean, getting in on Pearsall now, who things of the drafting community has always been very excited to draft Pearsall. He's someone who's gotten pushed up. And now I feel like his price is finally settling in a range where it's like starting to look like a really nice buy to me. I remember having a lot of sticker shock on Pearsall through a lot of last year, but I look at Pearsall on this range next to Romeo Doubs, next to Jacoby Myers, who are fine football players. But I start to look at Pearsall and say, okay, there are scenarios where we're drafting Pearsall in the 4th or 5th round next year, where he more kind of settles into that Jameson Williams opposite Amon-Ra St. Brown level of fantasy production in a solid offense. That's kind of where I'm at, just talking it through with Ricky Pearsall. So here's the team through 8 rounds. Justin Jefferson up top, the polarizing selection of Devon Etienne. How funny. If I'm Achane, I'm coming out right now and I'm doing a press conference and saying you pronounce my last name as Etienne. That's how you really fuck with us. I go Bucky Irving in the 3rd, Zay Flowers in the 4th, Christian Watson in the 5th, grab Jaden Daniels in the 6th, come back with Jordan Addison in the 7th, and then grab Ricky Pearsall in the 8th. So we got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 5 wide receivers. I should also mention to Walter/Water Droplets. Is he in the chat today? Maybe his doorknob comment got to me because I'm using the draft board within the applet as opposed to popping it out. I actually should just put this to a vote. I want to put this to a vote once and for all. I'm going to set up an actual poll here of what do you guys like better? Because these are 2 options here. So there's this view, which allows you to see more total picks, right? Like we're in round 9 and you can see all of the picks. However, to Mr. Water Droplet's point, it obscures like 3 or 4 picks in the top right corner. That's one option. The second option is this, where you see less rounds. I have to scroll down and now you can't see, the first 3 rounds, but you can see the full board and no picks are obscured other than the ones that aren't displaying. So I need to know, what do you guys like better? I'm going to put an actual poll in the chat. We're going to call it 1, the Walter knob version. I got to figure out how to name these so everyone knows what we're talking about. All right. I'm not starting a Q&A, YouTube. Relax. All right. I'm going to have to make these picks before I get this poll. Let me get this poll. Okay. What view do you like better? Doorknob version. So that's like when I pop it out, Walter preferred. All right. Let me see which one you guys like there. All right, we are back on the clock here. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? This is such a troll. Kyler at 106 unstacked is such a stupid troll. Oh my God. And I just panic select Jaden Reed. That is absolutely disgusting behavior. Absolutely disgusting behavior by this individual. What are we doing? And Jordan Love's gone. So now I have 2 phantom stacks, which isn't like the worst thing in the world, but I am tilting. I guess I'll just take Sam Laporta. Clayton, are you in the chat? This individual, Clayton White, this dude, is this because I said your Rashi Ladd McConkey picks were out of pocket? Dude, I hate your team. Dude, I absolutely hate your team. Look at this. Okay, James Cook, Jeremiah Love, whatever. Rashi Rice, Ladd McConkey, awful. Then just goes full slap. Carnell Tate, Brian Thomas. This dude loves buying players who have already revealed themselves to be busts. Comes back, stacks up Patrick Mahomes with Rashi Rice. I'm sure he's a Davis Maddox sub. Romeo Dobbs, that's actually the one good pick. And then naked Kyler Murray. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? You got scared because Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence were off the board. You couldn't just sit and wait. You had to get Kyler Murray. What a bum. Are you in the chat, Clayton? What a bum. I'm going full Spags. I'm going to rip you a new one. What's this vote? Wow, you guys like the doorknob version. Okay, no, that's my version. You like my version here where you get to see more picks. So Walter's actually down bad. Walter preferred's at 36%. Only 22 votes, though. We have 233 people watching. Can we get a few more votes here? I need to really know. Is my doorknob version the ideal way to display this draft board? I just read his entire team to you. Look, I know about the quarterback avalanche. I've done this is my 7th draft. I was very aware of it last week. The Kyler Murray thing, I just like, I guess fine. Sure. You want to get a naked quarterback and you're terrified about the avalanche. I thought I had rights. I thought I had squatters' rights. My wide receivers look great. They sure do. You know what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to have to take Malik Willis. I'm going to do the Malik Willis to Achane stack. There's not a fucking running back in sight. I'm going to need binoculars. And then Hawkberg takes Malik Willis. Now that's bullshit, dude. That is bullshit. Hawkberg, you have Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. You do not need to take Malik Willis there. That is absolute bullshit by Hawkberg. This Clayton dude, whatever, knock yourself out. But Hawkberg, I expect better from. I absolutely expect Hawkberg to be better than that. That is some bullshit. I really want to just push the plane right now. I'm going to take George Kittle. I'm going to stack up every single team without their quarterback. Unbelievable. Jake, get the hell out of here. This is a dumb bit. Where are the running back points? The running back position will be addressed once I figure out the quarterback situation. Displaying the board is the least of my problems right now. I'm in hell. Yep. Loot says just hopped on stream for the first time and Pete's on full tilt. I guess I'm taking Tyrone Tracy. So only running back in a C. I mean, what am I going to do? What is going to happen to me at quarterback? I'm so pissed. I am so pissed. So basically what happened is I got sniped 3 times on quarterbacks. Panic selected extra wide receivers and tight ends. So now I'm behind the 8 ball at both quarterback 2 and the running back position, and I hate my team. That's where we're at. That's the update. I was in such a zen mood hopping on stream. I got in a workout this morning, feeling refreshed, had a nice shower before the show. It's like, you know what? Let's just chill. Let's just vibe. Draft some teams, talk some March Madness. And then this happens. All of my ops just fucking jester maxing in here. I mean, where is Hawkberg? Is Hawkberg in the chat? I want you to talk to me about needing Malik Willis QB3 stacked up when you have selected Hurts at pick 6 or round 6 in Purdy in round 9. That is an egregious use of draft capital spend. I'll just say it right here and right now. Well, the solver, the leg up told me to. Fuck off. Use your own brain for once. Hawkberg. Do people know my history with Hawkberg too? 2 years ago when I got second in the Battle Royale, he got first, beat me by like 1 point. $20,000 swing there, I believe. Yeah, he got 40K, I got 20K. Barely beat my ass. And now he just haunts me with these kind of decisions. Brady says, what's the 1 slot doing? Yes, this is, so he goes Bijan, he grabs Tuten and Harvey at 5-6. So then he has 3 running backs. And then he goes J.K. Dobbins, Bill, Rashad White, Chris Rodriguez, and Emmanuel Wilson. So, okay, it's one of those guys. I didn't even think these existed in 2026. The backfield hoarders. He's committee maxing here. Tuten and Rodriguez, Harvey and Dobbins, Bill and Rashad White. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. Who is the RB2 right now in Atlanta? Who's the RB2 right now? He's got to lock up the RB2. All right, I'm just taking Cam Ward. If everyone's just going to go rogue and take players they don't need, I have to take Cam Ward. Ugh. What are even the Washington players still in the pool? I guess I could take Chig. Chig stacked with Jaden, and what's available for Tennessee? I do like Tajay Spears too. What do I need more? I definitely don't. Chig, I don't need right now. We'll take Tajay Spears, whatever. I don't know. I'm tilting. I'm absolutely tilting. I should have taken James Conner, Jonathan Brooks, Emmett Johnson. I'm just on absolute turbo tilt right now. One hole is an absolute jester. Hawkberg, total clown show. E. Clayton, essentially a terrorist. Nick, on a snow day, having the time of his life. I should have taken March off too. I should have taken all of March off from drafting. There's just no point. There's just no point. It's just a bunch of jesters and clowns and terrorists in these drafts. Chris will be RB. Spears will be RB3 after the love pick. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me. I do want to know who's the Bijan backup right now. Is this a conversation we need to have as a community? Nathan Carter and Carlos Washington Jr. That's what we're dealing with here. I dare this dude, tall, skinny. What's his name? What's his full username? Tall, skinny, white boy, big dick. Of course. The audio listeners might think I'm joking, but this dude's username is dead ass tall, skinny, white boy, big dick. And he's drafting entire backfields. What is happening right now? What is happening? I swear to God, I dare tall, skinny, white boy, big dick to draft Nathan Carter or Carlos Washington. Can never be too safe, brother. Can never be too safe out there. Jeez. What the fuck is this shit? Half PPR Tyler. Canadian $6.99. Do you even live in Canada? I thought you lived in Minnesota. Why are you sending me CAD? And what is this profile picture? Why are you Curious George? Talking USA baseball. Hashtag Toxic Tower. You just spent $6.99 Canadian to promote your podcast. This is just an absolute parade of jesters this morning. And I'm back on the clock. I need to start taking running backs. Nicholas Singleton, God knows my relationship with him. Let's take a rookie running back. So we're at a 2.562. 2.562. Did Chig go? Did I lose Chig? I'm sure I did. I'm sure some clown. Yeah, of course. What do I need now? Is there a third quarterback? God, Michael Penix. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm tilt selecting. Sure. Trey Benson. Why am I taking Trey Benson? I have no clue. I hate this team. 2.662. Don't even know what I'm doing. 4 picks left. 20 rounds is way too long. There should be less rounds for pre-draft best ball. I don't know why we had the idea that there should be more rounds. It should be the opposite. I want a cash out button. I want a cash out button that I can select right now. I spent $10 on this entry. The value of the draft is now down to $4.32, and I would like to press the cash out button. I'm miserable. I almost selected Michael Penix. And why? Because I was just looking at the Atlanta Falcons depth chart. That's the only reason why. I'm going to take Mac Jones and hope Brock Purdy gets injured, and then I can hit on my Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle stack. That's the level I'm at right now. That's a fake Tyler. Okay, I should have known. I was going to be disappointed if that was actually Tyler. So you're telling me there's a fake Tyler who's promoting Tyler's podcast for him? I need a fake Peter who goes around and does marketing spends in various chats. Can I get a fake Peter to go spend their own Canadian dollars to promote my show elsewhere? Finally, Charlie wanting to have a serious conversation. Any updates from Derek Carr? Now, there is an update. It's not an update he's personally sent to me, but he did post a video on his Instagram story that he was out paintballing. And I couldn't tell which one was him, but it was kind of like a Civil War reenactment. It wasn't like people were hiding and doing barrel rolls and whatever. They were all lined up in 2 rows at opposite sides. I'm sure there's like a paintballer in the chat and they're like, actually, this is called combat warfare practice tactics. And if you've ever played paintball, you would know this, but whatever. And they just shoot at each other. And I guess it's like the last team standing. Once you get hit, you have to fall over. Derek Carr posted a video of that. I didn't even like it, but I did see that this morning. That's my only Derek Carr update. He's been playing paintball, which doesn't seem that safe. Gunner helm, let's go. You know what? When God closes a chig, he opens up a gunner helm. What a gift. That's the one pick that's felt good. You take Cam Ward and you backstack him with gunner helm. Things finally feel good, guys. Things finally feel good to me. Let me get another Tennessee wide receiver. Let's go in. Ellick, come on down. We are, oh my God. Are we landing the plane right now? The passengers thought we were for sure crashing in the middle of the ocean. But are we landing the plane right now? Are you kidding me? Cam Ward, Tajay Spears, Ellick, and Gunner Helm? These goons tried to throw me off my rhythm. They tried to deplete my mojo. They tried to fuck with me. But little did they know I had this Tennessee Titans stack in my back pocket like David Kitchen in a blizzard. You always keep one back there for a rainy day. You might be landing the plane, but everybody's barf bags are full. Well said. Basically, we went from no survivors to a few survivors. This draft from the one hole, though, is something else. And I might even like it more than mine. This guy's not worried about quarterback. He took Josh Allen at the 2-3 turn and has yet to take a quarterback. We're hitting in round 16. He goes Jake Tongas. What's he going to do? Is he going to raw dog Josh Allen? I am riveted right now. Shadur. Dude, I love everything about this team. I feel like I can psychoanalyze every selection. Like he goes Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr. at the 7-8 turn. He's like, that's a 2-for-1, bro. Michael Pittman gone, boost Alec Pierce. Michael Pittman away from Alec Pierce, boost Michael Pittman. Double tap. I don't know what that sound is. Then he goes just complete handcuff spree. This guy looking like an ICE agent out here with all these handcuffs. And then he goes Kayshon Boutte, Isaac Tesla, Tank Dell, Trey Tucker. Just a humdinger of a quartet of players there. They might combine for 2.5 targets a week. Comes back, grabs Jake Tongas as his tight end 1. Jake Tongas as his tight end 1. I didn't even realize that. What does he go? Does he go solo? Does he go solo tight end here, or does he come back and finish? All right, I'm on the clock, and I don't know what are we doing? We need some rookies. We need some rookies. What is this? Adam Randall? Adam Randall? What are we at? We're at a 2.773. We just added Randall, and I need to take a quarterback 3. Charlie's got 4 quarterbacks. Relax, Charlie. Oh, wow. He did the Penix. Wow. Is Charlie skinny white boy big dick too? Handcuffing his quarterbacks? You think I'm going to take JJ McCarthy? No way. Taking Ty Simpson. I hate this team with an absolute passion. With an absolute passion. I can't wait, though, to see what tall, skinny, white dude does here. This is my sweat, because this team that I drafted is not going to have a sweat. But I do want to see what our hero does here from the one hole. Does he go tight end 2? Does he go quarterback 3? Does he draft Nathan Carter to lock up the Falcons running back? All right, while we wait for this pick, I will read off my full team. We went Justin Jefferson, then came back with Devon Achane, Bucky Irving. Then we went Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Addison. We got greedy and took Pearsall instead of Kyler Murray, then got brutally sniped on Kyler Murray, panic selected Jaden Reed, couldn't get Jordan Love, panic selected Sam Laporta, couldn't get Jared Goff, panic selected George Kittle, couldn't get Brock Purdy, panic selected Tyrone Tracy, came back, and then like a pool in the desert, an oasis, Cam Ward was staring at me. And then we went full David Kitchen down the home stretch. Tajay Spears went ahead and grabbed Nicholas Singleton, despite there being no information about him on that Nittany Wire site. Absolute panic selection of Trey Benson, and then came back with Gunnar Helm and Alec Iomenor there with the Titans youth movement. Grabbed Adam Randall, because I think I saw a YouTube short about him on ADP chasing, and then finished it out with quarterback 3, Ty Simpson. And here is Mr. Irrelevant. Theo Johnson goes to our hero here. Theo Johnson, where you guys all worry about my running back points and my quarterback points. How about worrying about tall, skinny, white boy, big dick, or whatever his name is, his tight end points? Because he's rolling into this season with Jake Tungus and Theo Johnson. All right. I did hop in another draft, though. I need redemption, and guess what? I'm getting redemption in the form of the Influencer 101. And let me make sure that none of these jesters are back in here. I don't see Hawkberg. I don't see that Clayton guy. I don't see any of these clowns. We might be safe. We might be safe from the tyranny of these draft gooners. 101. Should I take Bijan? Now that I know that Bijan Robinson competition is Nathan Carter and Carlos Washington Jr., how do you not take him 101? I think I took Jahmyr Gibbs 101 last week or 2 weeks ago. Let's see how many of you guys. Let's do it. Let's do a Bijan. I can do Bijan, and then I can take both Penix and Tua. That'll be so fun. I'll get shut out at quarterback, and then I'll take those two. It'll be really fun. All right, 14 of you have signed up for the Deposit Kingdom Bracket Challenge. If you are in the chat right now, it is pinned. The link is pinned. If you missed it at the top of the show, I'm going to be tossing in some prizes. First place gets a priority spot on Best Ball Bash to draft a $100 team with me at some point. Either the big board, the biggest board before that closes, or whatever $100 tournament comes out after that. I'll give $100 merch to the Deposit Kingdom merch store. And we'll see if I can round up a few other perks. But join us in there. 16 of you now. Man, this bracket is growing exponentially. I should also mention our Swolecast Splash contest. I think we're like the one contest on here that is already close to filling. So yeah, if you want to be, there's a bunch of contests on Splash. Our contest, the Swolecast Survivor one, it's at 428 out of 445. So this is last call. This is going to fill later today. So if you want in to compete with the Swolies, this is your chance. I'll drop the link to this in the chat as well. $10K Survivor Madness. First place, $10K, $25 to enter, 445 total entries. I believe how many of them are mine. I think I got 5 bad boys in here. Come compete. Come and compete. Unless you're Hochberg, unless you're one of the clowns. Whoa. Breaking news. Justin Fields to be traded to the Chiefs. Okay. All right. GM. We're back on track. Let's pull up the tweet. The New York Jets are finalizing a deal that will send quarterback Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs pending a physical. We call that the Max Crosby qualifier. Per ESPN sources, other teams were interested, but Fields' preference was to go to Kansas City. That's fun. That is fun. Who's going to do the first, this feels like a soft benching for Patrick Mahomes tweet? Who's going to do it? Somebody's got to do it. But I will say, yeah, JB Ball says Mahomes not ready for week 1. I'll be interested to see the compensation here. I'm looking at my timeline right now. I don't see any compensation yet. But yeah, no, this is pretty fun. All right, we're about to be back on the clock at the 2-3 turn. We started with Bijan. We are back up here. You know what I might try to do? I might just try a little high T start. I have not done one of these yet. Let's just load up on running backs here and see how it goes. Let's go Chase Brown. I have been skeptical of him, but we're going to go hyper fragile strategy. We're going to go Bijan, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. We are going to hoard the running backs. We are going to starve the beast in this room. Yeah, so the Chiefs lost Gardner Minshew in free agency to Arizona, so they did need to get a backup. They had Chris Oladokun and Jake Haener as the only other quarterback. So getting a serviceable quarterback too, I guess, yeah, I don't know how much you want to read into it as far as Patrick Mahomes' health. Like they needed a QB2 just in general, like the classic insurance policy quarterback on a good team. But it's probably a little bit of both. Little column A, little column B. So here's the compensation from Tom Pelissero. The Jets get a 2027 sixth round pick. That's the going price for Justin Fields these days. The new updated depth chart for the Jets is Geno Smith, Brady Cook, and Bailey Zappi. Interesting. They can also use Fields in short yardage sneak situations because they don't sneak Mahomes. Good point by Charlie. Copy paste says Mahomes is fine. Plus where he's going, you can afford, even if he misses half the year, if he smashes when he's back during the playoff weeks. I'll push back a little bit. I mean, I think we're now bringing the conversation back to best ball. I think he's a bad pick if he misses half the year. Half the year? Nah. I mean, the thing is okay, so Mahomes right now is going at pick 88. Give me a full season of Dart. Give me a full season of Brock. Give me a full season of Stafford, a full season of Nix, a full season of Goff, a full season of Love. Sure. Let's talk like after Jordan Love. Give me a full season of Kyler. We can talk about Baker, Mahomes in that. But yeah, if we're talking missing a half a season, that's a lot, man. That's a lot of points to give up on. I mean, trust me, I'm still a week 17 is all that matters, bro. But if you can get comparable production at a similar price and have all of the games in this hypothetical, I think that kind of thought process is more applicable to the quarterbacks with the massive rushing ceiling, because what they can do from a spike week perspective in the fantasy playoffs can give you a little bit more of a moat for missing games early. Like I won't miss you as much on week 6 if you can go for 35 in week 15, but I don't think that's Mahomes' game anymore. I think that the thing that's enticing about the Mahomes and the pocket quarterbacks is that floor, right? Like that they're going to give you 23, 24 points every week. But the consistency of the floor is far less attractive if I don't have that for the whole season. Steven Burr says, can we stop this? Mahomes is not some automatic producer anymore. Are you telling me to stop? I feel like we're on the same side. Also, it's March 16th. What else are we going to do but argue about dumb shit like this? All right. I'm back on the clock here. We started with 3 running backs, so it's time to get some wide receivers. Let's get some wide receivers. I'm going to do Terry for sure with one of these. I haven't selected Adams. I'm still like, I don't know. I'm spooked on Adams at this price. I think I like some of the other options later. Fine, let's do we can do Tate. Or should we just go full blown? Let me try this actually. Let me slap it up with Tuten. I'm going to try the thing where most people who grab Tuten, it's their RB1. I'm going to do Tuten as my RB4. I'm going to flip the drafter profile on its head. And we just went high tea with a slice of slap. Sounds like a spiked iced tea drink you would order. A high tea with a slice of slap. Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Bhayshul Tuten. I think we can be done at running. Where the hell is Jake? Jake, show yourself in the chat. Where are you, Jake? Where are the running back points? Where are you now, Jake? Come out. Come out of your little hole. Look at this roster. Look at this team I put together, and I dare you to ask that question. You told me to smoke a cigarette, and I smoked the entire pack, brother. Have I filled out a bracket yet? I have not filled out my bracket, but I have been urging you guys to join my Underdog bracket pool. First year available. You can now make brackets on Underdog. Bracket battle. I believe it's mobile only right now. I have a link pinned in the chat. I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the show notes. There's going to be prizes here. We're up to 19 people. Everybody, Snail, come on, baby, turn the lights off. Snail him. Chief Scott Fields. Yeah, bro. That's like so 14 minutes ago. All right, Jake says he got hype at the last turn. I will never scroll up, but I'm glad to see that you're taking the L. Is Tuten the Darrell Henderson slappy trap back? Well, the thing with Darrell Henderson is, at least in that situation, he was like around 14th pick and then rose like 9 spots. But he could be. He very well could be Darrell Henderson. Christopher Davis says Chris Rodriguez backup doesn't count as high T. He's not the high T part. The high T part is the first three. He's the slice of slap. I'm not counting Tuten as the high T part. He's the lemon slice in the drink. The high T, like the straight testosterone, that's in the drink. That's the protein powder, the creatine, the Bijan Robinson, the Chase Brown, the Josh Jacobs. That's the core of the drink. Bhayshul Tuten's just the garnish. It's just the garnish. He could even be, you want to be a loop-de-loop straw, a little drink umbrella. That's Bhayshul Tuten, brother. Slice a slap. So we got these 4 running backs. We have 1 wide receiver. Jaden Daniels is gone, so we won't be stacking Tuten with Jaden, or we won't be stacking Terry McLaurin with Jaden Daniels. We're certainly in the market for wide receivers. We also know about the dreaded quarterback avalanche. Jordan Tyson, DK Metcalf, Alec Pierce, Parker Washington. There were some people that were mad at me about my Parker Washington takes on, I think it was the Spotify comments. Or maybe it was YouTube. Someone was mad at me about that. All right, so we just saw Burrow. We just saw Burrow and Hurts go. Fine, I'll do Drake May, but I don't love it. But I refuse to get shut out here at quarterback. And then we'll grab Tyson, right? He's the cheapest of these rookie quarterbacks. Where does my guy Freeman have Tyson going right now? He has Tyson going 16th overall to the Jets. I mean, I understand why the Jets would want to do that, but that would not be great. It would not be great. Number 2 behind Garrett Wilson with Geno Smith at quarterback does not sound great to me. That said, we needed wide receivers. Bijan Robinson, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Terry McLaurin, Bhayshul, Side of Slap, Tuten, Drake May, and Tyson. Jordan Tyson. Round 16, though, or pick 16, if he goes middle of the first round, I mean, awesome draft capital there. The cheapest of these rookie wide receivers in this draft. Tate went at pick 61. Lemon went at 63. Tyson comes all the way back to 73. Keaton Mitchell is the real loop-de-loop straw. Yeah, I'm glad you brought him up. Mitchell to the Chargers, right? That one, certainly, I think it was, did I take Vidal like twice last week? That certainly feels less good after bringing in Keaton Mitchell. I also think it's got to be slightly bearish Omari and Hampton. Like, they just continue to bring in bodies. Where did Hampton go? Hampton goes 17 in this draft. Wasn't this the exact same start? Slope goes Genty, Hampton, 8-17. Was it Charlie? I think Charlie went Genty, Hampton, 12-13 last draft. FK Cooler says, Tyson is my favorite of the 3 wide receivers. Would hate that for him. Yeah, Jets would be bummer. I mean, if we're looking around here, what would be the other spots that could be realistic? I mean, the Bucks with Evans, they've shown a willingness to continue to draft wide receivers, like the Bucks at 15. I mean, it's interesting that the Rams have been mocked to wide receivers. Obviously, going to the Rams would be nice if you can kind of catch the Adams fall off and get that second guy there. Lions, Vikings. Panthers, could you see Panthers pulling the trigger again? Would they go back-to-back years with round one wide receivers? AD Mitchell as a 3. Yeah, I mean, I do think ideally, like, in a perfect world, AD Mitchell would be your wide receiver 3. I mean, he'd be an awesome wide receiver 3, just from a talent perspective. It'll be interesting to see, because we didn't really get to see Adonai Mitchell alongside Garrett Wilson, did we? Didn't most of his production come last year when he was the top dog there? Tanner, this is the most flattering thing anyone has ever asked me. Do you watch prospect film or no? No, I do not. I do not watch prospect film, but even just the thought that I project or come across as someone who might is honestly deeply flattering to me. So thank you. But no, I outsource all of my film takes to the crew over at Fantasy Life, Friedman, all the ball knowers out there, the guys who watch the film, do the work. I thank them for their service. All right. I think I've done this before, but let's just do Dobbs with Drake May. Do Dobbs with Drake May, and then should probably grab another wide receiver here. I honestly still like Xavier Worthy. I'm just going to vibe click Xavier Worthy here. Jaden Reed, Wan'Dale Robinson, all these guys going in here. But I do think because I'm pretty thin at wide receiver, I want to actually take some upside cracks in this range, and then I can kind of backfill with volume down the stretch. Just throw some bodies at it. So we stack up Dobbs with Drake May at this 8-9 turn, and we tack on Xavier Worthy as our wide receiver 4. Drake May, we have the high T, Bijan, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs with a slice of slap, Bhayshul Tuten, RB4. And now we're up to 4 wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Tyson, Romeo Dobbs, and Xavier Worthy. Jets and Browns taking rookie wide receivers would be terrible. Yeah, and I would say even more so for the Jets, because like the Jets, you get the double whammy where you don't get the target upside of a wide receiver 1. You know, even when like people were still pretty hesitant about Bryce Young heading into this year, and I think rightfully so, but at least with Ted Arroyo, you know, you're like a lock for 8+ targets a game, and that's kind of what panned out. But if you go and you're playing behind Garrett Wilson, and you have subpar quarterback play, that's just a death knell. At least with the Browns, he would immediately be the best wide receiver on the team. I guess the fan and slaps could argue that he'd still be competing for targets there with the duck-footed king. But yeah, I mean, both those would be bad, but I think the Jets would be even worse. If I were invited onto Last Meal, what would your spread be? You know what's funny? I don't even know this show. I mean, I can, infer what the show is about based on the title. It's funny. I think I was thinking about this, but yeah, what would my last meal be? I think it would definitely, it would involve a California burrito, really good chips and guac. I would want a bomb ass, like Reese's milkshake. Reese's peanut butter milkshake. And then I would want like a little sampling of seafood on the side, which I know none of this stuff meshes together. But if I'm just last meal maxing, I want a couple really good oysters, a couple jumbo shrimp, some really good sushi. And again, just a few pieces because I'm not going to be able to house all of this, but I want to be able to go back and forth from the burrito, the chips and guac, and the seafood. I want a lobster tail in there. I know I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this. I was asking Lauren last night, like, if you could only have, she hated this, but I was like, you can only have one fruit for the rest of your life. All other fruits vanish, or you could only have one vegetable. And she, for a second, floated pineapple. And I was like, there is no way in hell that you're rolling with pineapple. She ended up walking it back to apple. I was firmly banana. Like, banana is just by far my favorite. So versatile, putting in smoothies. I like it in my creamy. I like it in a milkshake. I like it on a yogurt bowl. I like it just on the go. Got to be banana for me. Saber wants baseball advice. Can you give me a guy or a few who I need to snag? Brother, I just drafted my first baseball team of the year last week on Off and on the Clock. I'll tell you one player I drafted. I'll get back to this because I need to make a couple of picks here. Man, this QB window stuff is real, and it is awful. I definitely need to take a QB here. The question is there a stack I want to do? I do like KC Concepcion here a good bit. I think I need to go wide receiver and quarterback. Let's take KC, and then, I mean, I guess I can keep doing the Malik Willis thing. Malik Willis, if I'm not going to have stacks like Shuck, there's not much fun stuff to backstack him with. Stroud, I guess you can do the Dell and Noel. Darnold, you can do Horton and Shaheed. We're going to grab Willis. Where does Freedman have Concepcion? Yeah. So I still love this. Yeah. Freedman has Concepcion going at pick 26 to the Bills. I think we already talked about this previously, but if he's a first round pick and he goes at the back end of round 1 to a team with a legit quarterback, I think he's massively undervalued at 120. 245. All right. You guys got me hopping today. We're talking last meal. We're talking baseball. We're talking free agency. We're talking March Madness, Justin Fields trades on the fly. Let me give you a baseball pick. Someone I drafted on my dinger team. I'll tell you who to draft here. I'll tell you. Draft Juan Soto. Juan Soto. I got him 3rd overall. Has to be pretty good. If he has an ADP of 3.1, Juan Soto has to be pretty good. Now, is he Ohtani? Is he Aaron Judge? No. But he's Juan fucking Soto. I think you should draft him, dude. And then you and me can hold hands all year. You pop in the chat and you're like, dude, Soto's crushing it for us. And I'll be like, totally, man. And we're giving each other fist bumps and just like, Soto for life. Judge and Ohtani, so overrated, bro. Soto season. All right, I guess I got to check out this show. The last meal, it's basically the game I play with myself at night when I fall asleep and I'm hungry. The game I play isn't really last meal. It's like, if I were to DoorDash something right now, what would I DoorDash? It's definitely a fun game to fall asleep to. You guys are going strawberry? See, Jake's with me on bananas. You're surprised at banana? I do think blueberries would probably be my second. I have not tried sriracha on my banana. I would be open to it, though. Okay, why are we getting potato? Oh, you're talking vegetable? Yeah, you know what? When we did vegetable, we tossed out potato. We thought like the starch wasn't in the spirit of the prompt. I went avocado for my vegetable. U.S. Paralympic hockey beat Canada for the gold medal. I saw that, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. I don't know if it's insensitive. I did see a meme that said seeded rivalry. And I'm sorry, that's just funny. If I get canceled over that, I went out doing what I love. I'm not doing this avocado as a fruit thing again. It's spiritually a vegetable and everybody knows it. Okay. The USA Olympic team made that joke. I guess we're in the clear. We're in the clear. All right. We need to make another pick here. I am so distracted. What do we need? What do we need? I guess are we just going to rip it in on this Drake May double stack? Yep. And we're just going to keep doing it. I am going to double and I am going to triple down. I am going to try to get to 90% defensive back Travis Hunter exposure. It's not because I'm obsessed with Travis Hunter in this price range. It's because I had Bhayshul Tuten. Trying to correlate the Jags here, guys. Look into it. Look into it. Correlation. Here's the team so far. 2-4-6-1. Also, do I still have this poll up? Are we done with the draft board thing? Did something win out? All right, I'm ending the poll. The doorknob version. You guys like the Screen Max version here, which I haven't even done for this draft. All right. Here, let's engage the chat. And I'm going to lead. I'm going to say, is an avocado spiritually a vegetable? Yes or no? I want to see. I want to see what the people think. All right, so here, let me do a quick recap of the team. 2-4-6-1. We've got Drake May and Malik Willis at quarterback. We have our 4 early running backs, Bijan, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, and a side slap with Bhayshul Tuten. We've been trying to catch up at wide receiver, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Tyson, Romeo Doubs, Xavier Worthy, KC Concepcion, Travis Hunter. Caught up at DB. Tight end, Hunter Henry. Whatever. This guy's back. When's the little board, big board 2 coming out? I do not know. You want me to text Eric Carr and ask? Yeah, your members have been coming here and donating $6.99 CAD. So my wife's argument with pineapples, like she asked me, she said, in this world, do I have to prepare it? Because that was her thing of like, obviously buying a whole pineapple and cutting it and yada, yada is a decent amount of work. But I was saying in this reality, it's the only fruit that exists. You go into the store, you can get pineapple prepared however you want. You can buy the whole pineapple. You can get it cut. You can get it however you want, but it's the only fruit on the planet. I still think pineapple is a wild choice. I think it's a wild choice. Yeah, but you're missing my point. Avocado, he said, Good says, is a fruit. Botanically, it's a berry. My question in the chat is avocado spiritually a vegetable? In the spirit of the argument, no one is picking avocado for their fruit. But the fact that someone like me would pick it for their vegetable tells you everything you need to know about its spiritual essence. All right, we're back on the clock. God, this is gross. I did like what I was seeing from Pat Bryant down the stretch last year. I think this is my first Pat Bryant selection. And goddamn did the quarterback stuff. How do I do this to myself over and over again? What did I say I was going to do? I said I was going to take Bijan Robinson and end up selecting both Michael Penix and Tua. I saw this coming from a mile away. I saw it coming from a goddamn mile away. You guys can say this is an L, but I'm looking at the votes right now. 48 votes, 58% people say avocado is spiritually a vegetable, and 42% say no. So at the very least, even it sounds like everybody's on my side. The majority's on my side. But even if they weren't, it's a coin flip, it sounds like. I just can't win with the chat. Now we got Little Dodger. Is this Davis's alt? Little Dodger? Great tight end room. It doesn't. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Every year there's new people in the best ball community, and I just want to tell you all, it's impossible to draft studs at every single position. It's impossible. If I load up on tight ends, I'm going to explain this to you. If I load up on good tight ends, then you're going to say my running backs are weak. If I load up on good running backs, you're going to say my wide receivers are weak. If I load up on good wide receivers, you're going to say my quarterbacks are weak. I can't win with you people. I absolutely can't win with you people. Would I put an avocado in a fruit salad? Great argument for this, Ben. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There you go, Eric. A knowledgeable person knows a tomato is a fruit. A wise person knows not to put it in a fruit salad. And that is the essence of this argument. I'm not trying to get in a scientific debate with a best ball YouTube chat. I'm talking about having fun hypotheticals with your partner after dinner. This is actually rich here. Sweet Leaf says, if people, in parentheses, Pete, start drafting a little more instead of trying to space out their drafts, they might open up some more contests. I have so much of this comment makes me absolutely angry right now. Every bit of it is wrong. It's filled with fallacies. It's illogical. I don't know why, but this comment tilts the shit out of me. Let's start breaking it down. If people, parentheses, Pete, start drafting a little more. Okay, yes, if the entire world starts drafting, everyone, but I am somehow the poster child of people who need to draft more so you can get a little board 14. That is an absurd thing to say. Then he says, instead of trying to space out their drafts, the implication meaning that I'm somehow trying to perfectly space out my drafts for big board portfolio optimization, waiting for the max amount of news to squeeze out every little bit of value in the contest is patently absurd. I'm going to finish with like 12 big board drafts before the contest closes. I'm not intentionally spacing out my drafts. I'm living my goddamn life in March and only drafting once a week for you animals. Then he says they might open up some more contests. That's the one thing you said. You could have just wrote that. They might open up some more contests. You're right. They might open up some more contests. Sweet Leaf, sweet mother of God. You've tilted me more than the committee, running back committee maxer. You've tilted me more than Hawkberg. You little big board people. Last summer, I just kind of let the little big board people and the little puppy people skate by. And I said, you dolts are not worth my attention. Not this year. I'm squashing you bugs on a windshield like you deserve. Anyways, I'm back on the clock. How do we feel about Zachary Branch? Oh, we're definitely taking Gunnar Helm again. We're definitely taking Gunnar Helm. We need a second tight end here for sure. Gunnar Helm, come on down. All right, I think I need some more coffee. It's looking like a rage bait. This is the thing is when I'm not on stream, it's almost impossible to get me with rage bait. Like you might get me for a half a second and then I take a deep breath and I either mute or move on. I'm pretty good, but man, on stream, I just let myself get rage baited. And Sweet Leaf, man, Sweet Leaf just hit the goddamn sweet spot of rage bait for me. Zachary Branch. Yeah, what happened? We started talking about vegetables, and then I got trolled by Sweet Leaf and Drafted Branch. Curious. Sweet Leaf, it was for motivation, Pete, and it backfired. I'm glad you realized how much it backfired. I just love the idea that if I would just pull my goddamn weight and have drafted 50 more big boards right now, we wouldn't be in this spot as a community, starved for contests, just gasping for the air that a little board 4 would provide. Oh my goodness. Pete's spacing out his coffee boards. Pete, when are we going to get more coffee? This stream needs more caffeine. If you weren't spacing out your coffee pours. All right. I've definitely had way too much caffeine this morning, though. I've been on a little bit of an iced latte kick lately. Been doing what happened is I was on my trip in LA and I was doing the iced latte with oat milk. I was doing the iced latte with almond milk. And now it's hard for me. I'm a little addicted to iced lattes right now. I'm a little addicted to them. So then I'm mixing in iced lattes with the regular coffee. You combine all of that together and you get a man who is susceptible to rage bait in the comments. I like both of them. But I hear you. Tyler says almond milk over oat milk. Oh, yeah. My cortisol is through the goddamn roof right now. I feel myself needing to relax. Look at this. Now we have an almond milk versus oat milk battle. New poll. There's a new poll coming. There's a new poll coming. Is almond milk milk? No, we're going to do an almond milk versus oat milk poll. That's what this show deserves at this point. Let me make these picks, and then I need to get to the bottom of this. I might even I don't want to split the votes because we could throw some cashew milk on there as well. We could throw some cashew milk on here. Did someone take Tua? Are you kidding me, bro? That is bullshit. You messed up my I guess I'm taking Jacoby Lane, but this dude messed up my my quarterback hoarding strategy I was going to do there. All right, let's just take Colby Parkinson, really round out this tight end room. Hunter Henry, Gunnar Helm, Colby Parkinson. All right, so 62% to fill people in on that last poll, 77 votes. 62% said yes, an avocado is spiritually a vegetable. Glad we could solve that. All right. Dude, I'm turning into such a real content creator, just firing up polls for engagement. YouTube is going to be so proud of me. Peter, you went 4 months without using our poll feature. What got into you? Well, some hot topics. All right, ask a question. Team oat milk or almond milk? First, I just want to do these two. I don't want to hear the 2%. I don't want to hear all the other things. I just want to get to the bottom. Are you on team oat milk or almond milk? Which I do think are the 1-2 of non-dairy supplements for the latte. Wait, I just did yes or no. God damn, I already messed up this poll. In the poll, let's do it again. I meant to change it to oat milk. Can't do yes or no on team oat milk or almond milk. Yeah, I see it in the chat. You can sit out the poll. You can abstain. This is for the oat milk heads versus the almond milk heads. There's a prerequisite for filling out this poll. You need to have consumed both oat milk and almond milk. The poll is now live. Team oat milk or almond milk. If you have not consumed both of these, you have to sit this out. What do we have? One more pick. We're at a 3-4-9-3. The audio listeners are completely lost. They're like, we've been talking about vegetables and milk derivatives for the past 20 minutes. Get your shit together, Peter. Point taken. Here's the team. Drake May, Malik Willis, and Michael Penix at quarterback. Our running backs, Bijan, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Bhayshul Tuten. Our wide receivers, we are up to 9 wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, Jordan Tyson, Romeo Doubs, Xavier Worthy, KC Concepcion, Travis Hunter, Patrick Bryant, Zachariah Branch, and Jacoby Lane. And then 3 tight ends, Hunter Henry, Gunnar Helm, and Colby Parkinson. Wow, we got a tight one here, folks. 29 votes, although almond milk now at 57% of the votes, oat at 43%. If you're an oat head, now's the time to hit the poll. Stay in line. Do not leave the line if you are an oat head. There are only 32 votes. Oh my God. Oat is hanging on by a thread. 49%. The oat heads are rallying. They refuse to be silenced. This is a bonk. This is a bonk. This is the whitest poll I've ever been a part of, says Chunk the Deuce. I mean, I just drafted Hunter Henry, Gunnar Helm, and Colby Parkinson. What do you expect me to do other than talk about oat milk and almond milk? I hate you guys. Should be oat or almond juice, squeezed, not milked. All right. One final pick here. What do we need? QB, tight end. Fine. I'll take Theo Johnson, tight end 4. I hate it. Here's the squad. I mean, I just listed it off, but we have Drake May to Dobbs and Henry. We have naked Malik Willis, which I think is my preferred version of Malik Willis. We have Michael Penix. My goal was to platoon him with Tua, which is what Charlie did in the previous draft. And I said, hey, that'd be nice. We'll go Michael Penix, Tua, and Bijan, but I was denied Tua. So we have 2.5 starting quarterbacks. We just rocked the 4 running backs. We went true hyper fragile. I think you could argue maybe we tack on a 5th there, but we're just saying, hey, Bijan, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs, Bhayshul Tuten, stay healthy, do your thing. 9 wide receivers. Terry McLaurin, Jordan Tyson, Romeo Doubs, Xavier Worthy, KC Concepcion, Travis Hunter, Pat Bryant, Zachariah Branch, Jacoby Lane. Gonna need some rookie breakouts there. Romeo Doubs, the only safe bet on this team, along with Terry McLaurin, I'd say. Tight end, fine. Hunter Henry, Gunnar Helm, Colby Parkinson, Theo Johnson, hashtag exciting whites. Yeah, Achievers says, could you reshare the CBB tourney link in Discord? You know what I'm going to do, Achievers? I will post after the show. I'll do an announcement. And I will put the, here's what I'll do. I'm going to put it in general right now because I don't want to deny anyone who wants to get in this very second. I'll put it in the general. We're up to 22. And then I will do an announcement for it later as well. All right. If you guys aren't in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, hop in. There's a link in the show notes. All right, I'm tagging you. Shit, yeah, there you go. All right, if you're having trouble with the link on YouTube, try now in Discord there. I posted the link, and I will put it in an announcement along with some of the other prizes. If you're just tuning in, we have our own bracket contest on Underdog. This is a new thing. Also, in addition to it, I should pull this up because Underdog is kicking in some prizes for the overall bracket battle challenge. So the prizes are, first place is going to get $20,000. Here, you can see it on screen. There's 100,000 total prizes. It doesn't cost anything to enter. You get 10,000 for second, 7,500 for third. Fourth and fifth get 5K. Sixth through 10th, 2,500. 11th through 25 get 100 or 1K. 26th through 50th get 500. 51st through 100th get $250. They're paying out the top 100 scores for our free play-to-play bracket. I can't read. First time you've been able to do brackets on Underdog. And then we're going to have our sub group, our Deposit Kingdom group. So I believe if you make any lineups on Underdog, it's entered into that main bracket challenge. I guess, is there fine print? What's the max amount of brackets can you get in there? That's the question I'm kind of wondering. I'm in the TOC right now for you guys. I'm in the terms of service, the TOS, trying to figure out how many you can get in. Is this good TV right now for me to read all the fine print? Maybe someone else has looked. I'm curious, how many entries can you get in the free bracket challenge? I'll get to the bottom of this. And yes, also the Swolecast Survivor. Wow, it already filled. You guys filled this up. I think we're like the first March Madness thing to fill. Look at that. Shout out to the Swolies. Shout out to the Swolies for filling this bad boy. Look at this. Everybody else lagging behind. Hashtag make it bigger. Hashtag make it bigger next time. Yeah, I'm guessing you guys are right that it's just one to put in. The thing I guess I'm curious about is if you enter multiple sub bracket challenges, you're obviously creating multiple brackets. And I guess I haven't seen anything on there of how you choose which one of the brackets you make to be in the official contest. I think that's my question at this point. I'm actually talking to someone at Underdog though later today. And so I will try to get that information for you guys, and I'll mention it when I do the announcement in the Deposit Kingdom. 3 mil to first in Nick's rights it is crazy. I mean, in contests this big, I do think ends up being chop, likelihood of a chop, I believe. But yeah, 3 million to first. God damn it, Sweet Leaf. I never should have told Sweet Leaf I was talking to someone at Underdog today. Should I log on to the Zoom and have my username be Win Littleboard? Would that be a great bit? Uh-oh. Now someone's feelings are hurt. Make it bigger? Man who just kicked his viewers asking for more contests. Zachary, are you part of the Sweet Leaf tree?
Yeah, so these survivor contests, and this is how the NFL ones were, are first. Yeah, I mean that's like the entire concept of Survivor. There are, like in the big circa, there's actually a really cool podcast episode I just listened to. So I know a lot of you probably listen to Pablo Torre. Pablo Finds Out. He just had a guy on who's been crushing like the big circa survivor contest, and he kind of talks through like the game theory of it. But what happens at the end for a lot of these, at least the NFL ones, is there are, a pool of players, and a lot of them are able to work out like equity swaps where they're saying, hey, if there's 10 people left, and let's just assume, everybody's teams had the same EV, which wouldn't be the case, but let's just say everyone's team is technically worth 300,000 at that point, give or take however much equity the team truly has. They make deals to split the prize pool there, or at least figure out their own kind of updated prize structure to kind of get around the top heavy nature of the contest. So I have heard lots of stories, including on the most recent Pablo Finds Out, about swaps, equity swaps down the stretch of these survivor contests. The story I'm relaying, Mr. Brad, is everyone is involved in the swap. It's the final 10 people or whatever all get together with an updated prize pool. This happens a lot in the survivor contest. And it's also, and one of the things he talks about in the podcast is it's explicitly legal, at least in the circa survivor ones. Like, it is part of the rules. It's completely allowed. It's just part of the game. And then they reference how like poker bros end up like getting upset about it because it's different in poker, where a lot of times the rules stipulate against that kind of stuff. There was the huge controversy. We talked about it on Lulz this summer, or maybe it was last summer, where they were like essentially just chip dumping to each other at the final table. And they ended up stripping them of their bracelet because they had worked out some side deal, but they're filming this for TV. They're filming a poker tournament. The entire point is to have a high stakes head-to-head match at the end for the big prize and the belt. And they tarnished that veneer with their side deal. So yeah, very different in poker, but in the survivor streets, it's pretty commonplace. Okay. Let's see here. It is 11:48 a.m. Have we gotten to the bottom? Oh, wow. So yeah, almond milk is going to win. Almond milk is going to win here, 57% to 43%. Thank you for all the write-in suggestions, especially the ones who mentioned breast milk. Shout out to you guys. All right. This is what we're going to do. A lot of goons, a lot of jesters, a lot of clowns in the chat today. If you want to draft in the final draft, you're going to have to pony up. Bigger board. My first bigger board of the year. I heard from Sweet Leaf that I need to stop spreading out my entries. So here you go. I'm hopping in the bigger board. Let's get the bigger board filled, and then we can do another bigger board. $100. No more sniping me just for stream equity. If you want to be a jester, you got to pay up. Interesting. Okay, here we go. All right, we're ripping here. We're ripping 3 more people. 2 more people for the bigger board. So the advance rate structure and obviously the final size for this one is different. 2,208 entrants, $100 entry, 4 of 12 advance as opposed to, 3 of 12? In the main big board, the week 15 pod, 2 of 8 advance. The week 16 pod, 1 of 8 advance. And then it's a 23-person final. So if you make it to the finals, you're locked into $750, but first place gets $30,000. That's a pretty big swing there from first to 23rd. You make top 4, you're getting $10K. Top 10, you're getting $2K there, 20X on your buy-in.
Small little contest here. Oh, look who's in. See, Beastburf thought Sweetleaf already maxed. Look at this. Is this fraudulent, disingenuous commenting? Look who's next to me in the 7 hole of this draft. None other than Sweetleaf 22 themselves. This individual was berating me for spreading out my entries and not maxing everything, and they hadn't maxed the bigger board. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. What a double standard. You're going to come into the chat and crush me for not drafting more, and you haven't maxed the bigger board yet? How about you hold up a mirror, Sweetleaf? How about you hold yourself accountable before you go around holding the influencers accountable? I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it. A lot of liars in the chat. I bet Zachary's begging for more too and hasn't done all of his drafts. I know your mold. I know your type. I'm very well aware of you. Don't come complaining to me about needing more tournaments until you have maxed every tournament on the site. Actually, on every site. Every single one. Then you can complain. All right, let's focus up here. Let's focus up. We got CeeDee Lamb. We got Amon-Ra. I think I'm still a CD over Amon-Ra guy. It's close. All right, we'll start with CeeDee Lamb here. I'm just glad that we could be the ones to expose the little board criers. Sweetleaf says, I've not maxed the big board. It's crazy. It seems like you're spreading out your entries, Sweetleaf. It seems like you're purposefully spreading out your entries. That's just what it looks like from my vantage point. No site credits for me, brother. No site credits. These are my hard-earned dollars. And by hard-earned dollars, I mean all of the money that I lost drafting Battle Royale teams and then finally won Conference Championship weekend to get me back to below break even. All right, let's see here. I'm not going to do the Trey McBride thing here. I'm not going to do the Drake London. I want a running back. Let's just keep drafting Kenneth Walker. Keep drafting Kenneth Walker here. Kenneth Walker, CeeDee Lamb to start in the bigger board. Easy to max when you're friends with Derek Carr. It is. It does make it a lot easier to max when you are just constantly getting fed intel from Derek Carr. Do I think Quinshon Judkins is fairly priced? Good pick. Quinshon Judkins, ADP of 53. I think that seems fine. It sounds like the health stuff is fine, out of boot, on track for camp. I feel like we kind of know who Judkins is, can clearly handle the load. I think it's really just, do you feel comfortable making a bet on the quarterback play for Cleveland, which is a dicey bet to make. But I think it's fine. I mean, I guess I'd say it's a little rich. Like, I guess gun to my head, give me like Henderson, Swift, Harvey. Putting him like by the David Montgomery, Jalen Warren seems fine. So I don't know. I guess I'd say it feels like slightly frothy, but you're getting a younger player, year 2. What say you? What say you guys? I'm also ending this team oat milk or almond milk poll. Let's do now that I'm just poll pilled, let's ask Stefan's question. Is Q Judkins Fairly priced. Yes or no? Let's see what you guys think. Johnny Footballs with a $19.99 super chat. Thank you, Johnny Footballs. Johnny, can I pull up the photo of you from the boat at the Dog Bowl? So Johnny Footballs, one of the Dog Bowl NBA qualifiers, real hoops head. Underdog sends over the photos that they took at the event. And Johnny Footballs has the sickest photo of the entire set. I assume you found this, Johnny Footballs. I hope it's cool. Can I post it? I'm going to get your permission. Let me know if I can pull up this photo of you in the captain's hat on the boat, because it's an iconic photo. It should be your profile picture, honestly. Once I get your permission, I will show the chat. All right, we're about to pick here in the third round. We start CeeDee Lamb. We grab Kenneth Walker. Breece Hall goes. Man, how do I keep getting stuck with Bucky Irving? I guess we could do the Kyren thing, but that in this structure, I do want to be more running back heavy early. I can't stomach the Kyren thing. I don't love how much Bucky exposure I'm getting, but Breece Hall goes one pick before me, so we'll start Kenneth Walker, Bucky, CeeDee Lamb. I might just make the executive decision that I get to... Wait, you haven't seen this, Johnny? Oh, then this is even better. It's not like a bad picture. I just wanted your permission with like the face stocks or whatever. But I mean, Johnny, this picture is incredible. They check your email, Johnny, because they sent a link to all the Dog Bowl qualifiers with a big album with all the photos from the weekend. And this, I saw this one in there, and it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It was great meeting you and your wife. All right. We started CeeDee Lamb, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, $100 bigger board draft. I'm doing my best to stop spacing out my entries so we can get a little board 19. Let's see. We'll check in on the polls. Is Quinshon Judkins fairly priced? 65% says yes. 36% say no. Are you guys clicking Kyren? That's one, like, I felt awful last week selecting Javonte. Javonte goes ahead of Kyren here. Also, is this the same tall, skinny? Is this the same guy from before? Yeah. Okay. Tall, skinny white boy back in the mix. I guess I'll do Garrett Wilson. I don't think I've selected him yet across my massive pre-draft best ball portfolio. Do you know what I haven't done all year? Have I done an AWU? Have I been proud of a single value? Garrett Wilson, ADP of 37, and I just scooped him at 41. AWU. AWU. GM, Fantasy Dogbound. Imagine taking Kyren in 2026. The duality of man. Imagine taking Kyren in 2026. Wait, what is wrong with Kyren? What is wrong with Kyren is he is completely a volume play at running back who continues to lose volume. To me, that's the concern. He was losing goal line carries to both Blake Corum and Devontae Adams at the end of last year. The way they were utilizing that backfield at best feels like a continued 50-50 split, and at worst a changing of the guard to Blake Corum, who looked like a far better, more explosive runner down the stretch last year. To me, it feels like the base expectation should be a 50-50, again, at best for Kyren, with a lot of downside risk. And the Davante Adams stuff at a goal line is just like a huge elephant in the room for that fantasy value. So I don't know. He seems overvalued by like a couple of rounds to me. It seems like the needle you are trying to thread there is a very tight one. Aaron, Pete just received a job offer after about 6 months of unemployment. Can't wait to ape my first paycheck into the Chihuahua. Congrats on the job, man. I know it is tough out there right now. Please draft responsibly. I did draft Kendrick Bourne. I drafted Kendrick Bourne. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Whatever, one of them. Who did I do? I think it was a Jacoby Brissett Kendrick Bourne team. All right, we're about to be back on the clock. Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, CeeDee Lamb, and Garrett Wilson. Let's see. I keep doing Christian Watson in this range. I haven't done. You know what? Let me get another running back. I don't think I've gotten much DeAndre Swift. I think I did a Monangai share. Let's do a DeAndre Swift in here. Try to stay a little ahead at running back before it gets pretty gross. Jake, are you trying to compare Bucky and Kyren? First of all, I think Bucky has better goal line equity, or at least less threats than Kyren. He's also younger, more explosive, more shifty. I don't even know if that's like a pretty bad comparison. What if Devontae regresses? I absolutely think he will. I'm not paying this price tag for Devontae. 52. Also, we're talking about the Devontae and this stuff, and we were just looking at the mock draft here where Friedman, the most accurate mock drafter on the world, has Mekhi Lemon going to the Rams at 13. Add another threat in the mix. This is kind of where I'm at. Blake Corum is a smash, says Steven. Even the Kyren Bulls have to agree that a 60 pick gap between him and Corum is pretty wild. Shouldn't it be closer to the Swift and Monangai gap? Swift 59, Monangai. Where's Monangai? I'm going to time out here. 90. We'll do Jaden again. I like this price on Jaden. But yeah, that gap feels way more rational to me. DeAndre Swift goes at 60, Monangai at 90. Isn't that what Kyren and Corum should be? Kyren should go around where Swift goes, and Corum should go up a little higher where Monangai goes. That's what it feels like to me. Ishmael says Kyren actually had a better RAS than Bucky. If you believe that Kyren Williams in 2026 is more explosive and more agile than Bucky, I'd like to sell you some beachfront property in the Arctic. Is that how that phrase goes? I think Kyren is slow and bad. Yeah. I think the lesson to me is just the running back position right now, specifically pre-draft. And honestly might not look that different post-draft just because there aren't a lot of attractive landing spots now and a lot of teams have addressed their needs in free agency, is that after this third round of running backs, I mean, things get scary quick. Like we were just talking about Judkins being overpriced at, what was it, like 52 or whatever, and he goes 44 here because teams, drafters, I should say, rightfully get very spooked about running back after these top 3 rounds are off the board. I mean, you are into major question mark territory very quickly. Which is, I mean, it seems like the teams that look the best to me have spent capital at running back early. There's some gems to find down here. I feel like I've done Harold Fannin on like every team. We can do Michael Wilson again. Still like Michael Wilson. Need a third wide receiver here. CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson. Next pick is 89. So best available running backs on the board by ADP right now: Algier Monungai, Rico, Pollard. I did draft a Samson share. Cooge says Judkins may not be the same after the injury. We're paying a premium for a dude that may be in a committee backfield. Absolutely. Yeah, the way Bucky, this is me really putting on my film grinder hat. Like Bucky isn't like the run to daylight guy, right? Like he's not the Kenneth Walker, but his ability to make guys miss. He's the guy that turns 5-yard gains into 25-yard gains. He's not the Kenneth Walker who takes, what could be a 1-yard loss and turns it into a 60-yard game. I certainly agree with that. He's not fucking Jahmyr Gibbs, but he makes guys miss. All right, let's see here. I am on the clock. I kind of want to, I think I might just put my money where my mouth is. All this talk about Blake Corum, let's just do it. Let's put my money where my mouth is. We'll grab Blake Corum here, a little bit ahead of ADP. He has an ADP 100. I grabbed him at 89. I picked next at 104. Probably not going to make it back to me. And I don't love this like Pollard, Rico. I guess price is fine. But yeah, let's grab we're going to grab Corum. All this Corum talk being undervalued, had to put my $100 where my mouth is. Here's the team so far. This is the bigger board. I, slightly adjusting my strategy with the 4 of 12. Definitely prioritizing some running back touches there and being willing to reach. Like, I think you can certainly argue that there were some wide receivers that were better picks at a few different spots, but just knowing how bad those runs can be. Jaden Daniels at quarterback, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, DeAndre Swift, Blake Corum at running back, 4 running backs, and then CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Michael Wilson. Double Wilsons. Chunk the Deuce asking about Dak. Yeah, Dak goes there to the Pickens drafter, which makes sense. I just didn't think with Daniels that it was a priority to lock up that stack there. Burgundy, Pete, with the running backs being so pushed up now, does the zero RB strategy start multiple rounds sooner? I don't know, because the thing is like the whole thing with 0 RB is it actually is like you want to push it even further. Like, I don't think it's probably the best strategy right now, but like the worst thing I think you can do is to like panic select your RB1, with a really fragile profile in like round 5, right? Like the way you win then is you have the elite QB, you have the 5 elite wide receivers, you have the elite tight end, push it to like round 8, round 9. And then you just have to throw a shit ton of volume at it. I haven't done it yet in one of these pre-draft contests, but I do think in general, the biggest mistake people make when they do 0 RB is they get scared too soon. And I actually think you should probably push it further if you are going to do it. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't see anything I don't believe I've taken a QJ share. Wouldn't say he's like my favorite here, but a little bit of an ADP faller. QJ 95, pick 104. Probably should have just taken my guy, Jaden Reed. Respecting the market a little more in this bigger board. Jaden Daniels, Kenneth Walker, Bucky, DeAndre Swift, Blake Corum, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Michael Wilson, QJ. Yeah, 23-man final. Stacking not as important. Naked Kyler to get back to avenge the Kyler injustices from that first draft. God, that first draft seems ages ago. I mean, I know we've been streaming for over 2 hours, but that really feels like it was yesterday. Bindle says Judkins and Scat, terrible picks. I'm inclined to agree. Especially like the Scat stuff is kind of crazy because you have so many risk vectors. Like, you have the injury. You have the team being really interested in Kenneth Walker at one point. Does that mean that they're looking to continue to bolster the backfield? Tyrone Tracy has been serviceable. He's been solid. Like, there's a lot of ways Scatabo at that price goes wrong. All right. If you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it was meant to be. Should I do Xavier Worthy or Jaden Reed? I feel like I did Xavier Worthy last draft. No stacking tiebreakers. Jordan Love and Mahomes are already gone. I'm going to find myself in familiar territory here again of being in dicey quarterback position, although I'll probably just need to pull the trigger on one of these guys there. The Shuck, Darnold, Stroud era. Up to 5 wide receivers, 4 running backs. No tight ends yet, but we can throw volume at tight ends late. Kyler goes 1 pick before me. Yeah, Kyler at 112. That would have been a smash for me if I was able to get Kyler at 113 there. That would have been nice. That would have been nice. Look at this quarterback run there. We had Goff, Mayfield, Willis, Love, and Murray all go within a span of 7 picks. I wonder if that, again, was a mistake on my part. Should I have taken a quarterback there instead of QJ, and then I would have had my choice of Reed or Worthy coming back? We'll see. Their price is high, but they are the next running backs off the board at the moment. Clear number 1s right now, but I take Swift over them. Yeah, I do think in general I like the wide receivers in this 5th round more. I like Watson, Waddle, DJ Moore, the rookies. Daniels, Geno, Brissett. Yeah, I forgot Geno with Wilson. Brissett late. Yeah, I can cobble it together. Honestly, I think if I'm going to put together a cheap tight end room, trying to backload a little upside with Kittle seems fine. Try to get a guy in Kittle who can basically perform as a tight end 1 for me in the playoffs, and then try to get some early season production from some of these other guys. I kind of like that move. Like what are the Twitter docs saying about George Kittle? Like what are people saying is realistic for him? Whoa. George Kittle was spotted at Tybee Island. I have been to Tybee Island. That is the old stomping grounds of the late Chris Wessling. Pat Crane and I once did a Fantasyland episode all about Chris Wessling's battle with cancer. And before he joined Royal World and then obviously the NFL Network, he lived on Tybee Island. Very fun place to go visit. And they had their annual Irish Heritage Parade this Saturday, and apparently George Kittle was there. What a fun fact. What a fun fact. Google News really coming in clutch for George Kittle injury news. Spotted at Tybee Island's Irish Parade. Claire Kittle shares a romantic sunset kiss with George Kittle. All right, yeah, let's grab... Should we grab Goedert, get another tight end in this range? I think we can... Yeah, let's get a second tight end. We'll grab Goedert here, who still is... Goedert's still unsigned, right? We don't have any Goedert news yet. Oh, no, he stayed with the Eagles. Jeez. That's what happens when I'm not refreshing Twitter on the weekend. All right. Yeah, Goedert there seems fine. 137 Goedert. I mean, is that just the same story every year? Dallas Goedert at pick 140 and he delivers production at like pick 190. All right, so doctors are bullish on Kittle. All right, so we're going to need to figure out quarterback, but we can throw some volume at it. Where did Foster Moreau sign? Did Foster Moreau just sign somewhere? Is he even on a team? Two Mules is asking me about Foster Moreau. Is he on lands with Houston? I don't know, man. I feel like Foster Moreau has had kind of multiple chances over the years to establish himself as a tight end 1 and hasn't really been able to do it. Cool story, but you're talking to the Dalton Schultz guy, man. You're talking to the Dalton Schultz guy here. Let's see. Let me just try the I know Jacoby hasn't won the job, is going to have to compete against Minshew there, but I'm going to take Jacoby. I don't want to get shut out at quarterback here because I'm dicking around. Yeah, I think it would be a not that talented tight end in a committee with Schultz, who's been a decent target earner. Doesn't really seem like a stab to be making. Kittle seems to think he's going to be ready by week 1. Yeah, I mean, the players are always very optimistic on it. But I will say, like, I'm going to give Kittle the benefit of the doubt. If there are any of these players who are legitimate tough dudes who play through lots of injuries, who would be inclined to return earlier than typical return timelines or whatever, I'm certainly giving George Kittle that benefit of the doubt. No idea. No idea where Jennings goes. Could the Patriots try to keep throwing more money at the position? We are getting some cheap tight end prices here. Should we do Brenton Strange? Brenton Strange sliding here a good bit. The waiting on tight end thing is nice, man. Like, I like this room. George Kittle, Dallas Goedert, Brenton Strange. Like, Goedert and Strange should be fine at the start of the year. And now I guess now my wide receivers are kind of like, did I play too fast and loose at wide receiver? I don't know in this format. 4 of 12 advance, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Michael Wilson, Quentin Johnson, Jayden Reed. I obviously need to keep clicking them, but I don't know which pick I would necessarily want back as far as taking a wide receiver. I guess I could have taken a wide receiver instead of Jacoby. Maybe I panicked a little too early at or at quarterback 2 there. Could have got, yeah, like, well, Diggs. I do like Hunter, but I like Hunter more in like the big contests, I think. Pat Bryant would have been nice. Guess I could have taken 80 Mitchell. Oh, this was a doorknob moment for me. I was clicking on a different tab. Here we go. Now you can see the board. Classic doorknob maxing. Would be nice to get Jennings, B-Rob Jr., Najee signings. Yeah. I mean, as far as which one would be impactful, definitely the Jennings one is definitely impactful. I mean, at this point, like, aren't B-Rob and Najee like more likely to be an RB3 somewhere than even an RB2? Yeah, this is the other thing. Nick says they all might wait until the draft, which we've seen this kind of play out before, right? Was it like the Leonard Fournette thing or whatever, where it's just like, I'm not going to sign somewhere and then compete with a rookie or whoever. They'd rather just get a clean situation to jump onto because there's an injury during training camp or the preseason or whatever. I don't think we're worried about him. I think we're just saying we're curious to see where they sign. Did I seriously lose out on Geno Smith? 1 pick, sweetly fuck you, dude. Absolutely fuck you. All right, I'm just like panic selecting Tank Dell. Dude just had to stack up Geno Smith with 80 Mitchell. God, have mercy on my soul. This is just, there's just no such thing as a clean click this morning. I deserved it after I went in on Sweet Leaf. I deserved that. Unbelievable. All of a sudden, Jacoby Brissett as my QB2 is looking a lot less attractive. A lot less. Unbelievable. How many people have signed up for our bracket group here? JBB says Pete would be so bad if this was a $3 draft. You're right. You're right. He's smoking blunts and smoking you. Sure feels like it. Sure feels like it. This is some sick shit, man. What? I mean, I am just so sick of looking at these wide receivers. I'm just so unbelievably sick of it. Whatever. I'll take Kaytron Allen. Whatever. I'm ready to push the plane on this one. I thought we were cruising there for a sec. I take Tank Dell. Unbelievable. What am I going to do? Take Ty Simpson for the 9th straight time? What? I didn't even realize that I needed to take Geno Smith over Brenton Strange. Apologies to me. I should have known. I should have known when Adonai Mitchell went. I'm not in peak form. I am not in peak form. So what do we need? What do we need to do here? We're at a 2-5-6-3. We're fine at tight end. We're fine at running. We're fine at wide receiver. Are we going to need to go? We need to go 2 more quarterbacks, right? Is that what we need to do here? We have 4 more picks. Definitely another wide receiver. At minimum, 1 more quarterback, but probably 2. Probably just shut it down at tight end. Are we done at running back? Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, DeAndre Swift, Blake Corum, Kaytron Allen. We need like a rookie wide receiver, 2 quarterbacks, and then dare I say it, a luxury pick. This doesn't even make me feel better. Sweet Leaf says, I didn't even mean it, Pete. I do have Breece Hall, but you sniped both my quarterbacks. I wish you said it was out of spite. That would actually make me feel better. That would have made me feel better. I get angry looking at these quarterbacks. I get legitimately angry. Who have I taken? I've done Branch. I did Jacoby Lane. Let's do Brazel this time. Can't even remember anything about this dude, so we can go look him up. I need to remember what this dude's whole thing is. All right, so these were the ones I was deciding between. Branch, who I took before. Brazel. Wow, Jacoby Lane, way lower in the draft guide than his ADP. Brazel, Hupel inflated producer with legit size, speed, but shaky hands, route nuance, and true contested catch chops. By the way, Fantasy Life draft guide, completely free, really slick interface, easy to pop around here by position. Quick blurb, stats, rookie supermodel info, full draft guide. Got the mock drafts. Got the supermodel, the analysis. Bunch of good stuff over at Fantasy Life. Oh, yeah, I meant to see. What's our bracket challenge up to here? It is pinned in the chat. All right, we're up to 25 in the deposit kingdom here. Unbelievable. Sure, I'll do Michael Penix. Whatever. Tua went before Penix in this one, huh? Huh? Tua goes 208. Wait, this is so tall, skinny, white boy, big dick, or whatever his name is. In the first draft, didn't he do? No, he didn't do Tua and Michael Penix. That was Charlie. He took Bijan, and I thought he might go that route. All the drafts are blurring together in my head at this point. Thank you to everyone tuning in today as I shake off the rust on best ball drafting. How long can I get away with with saying I'm rusty? How long? Because this is my third best ball breakfast of the year. It's like my 7th or 8th team. How long can I make excuses about my poor drafting due to rustiness? Can I get like a couple more shows out of it? Can I get maybe like 2 more? Where I'm then required to just be this is the last week. That seems fair. That seems fair. Now that I entered a $100 tournament, it's time to step up. Typical doorknob excuse. All right. What do we want here? Literally don't know any of these wide receivers. Let's take one more quarterback. Let's just do, I've done the Ty Simpson thing. I'm going to go wrists up, Shadur Sanders, and just hope between Jacoby, Michael Penix, Shadur Sanders. I mean, this is talk about, I just Frankenstein together. Sometimes people try to Frankenstein a single quarterback out of 2. I'm trying to do it out of 3. I'm hoping that between Jacoby Brissett, Michael Penix, and Shadur Sanders, one of them, or collectively, they provide me QB2 level production alongside Jaden Daniels. That's my hope. I'm not even trying to get 2 quarterbacks out of 3. I'm being far more realistic. I'm saying one of these guys can be my QB2, and I'll leave the other 2 for dead. 4, 5, 7, 3. One more pick. What do I need? One more wide receiver? Who's Ted Hurst? Ted Hurst or Chris Bell? Which one should I draft? Bell? Okay. Hurst? Oh my goodness. There's a lot of Hurst versus Bell stuff. All right. I'm going Hurst. It seems like there were more Hurst there. Let me see. Where's Hurst? Wow. Buried in the fantasy life ranks. I'm scared. Georgia State, huh? Ted Hurst. Boring ass name. D2 climber in Georgia State Alpha, whose linear speed outpaces his polished strength in short area toolbox. Worked his way up from Division II Valdosta State to Georgia State's #1, showing off a tall, wiry frame and enough long speed to outrun and stack corners on vertical concepts. Right now, he's more linear burn than complete receiver. I'm going to start dropping that in casual conversation. Linear burn. Given the path and traits, he's more priority flyer than lock. Day 3 capital isn't guaranteed, but the downfield skill set will get him looks. And then we were also looking at, I think some of you mentioned Skylar Bell, Wisconsin transfer, who became UConn's wide receiver 1. And then who was the other guy? Who was I debating between? Bell. Yeah, what's the deal? Oh, yeah, it was Skylar Bell. Okay. #2 at Wisconsin in a Biletnikoff finalist. You guys didn't tell me Skylar Bell was a Biletnikoff finalist. All right, we're at the point of the show where I get $4.99 to roast a team out of the 6 hole. Let me recap my team here quickly, and then I will roast you after I roast myself. The old 4-5-8-3 for your boy Peter here in the bigger board. $100 donation to the Underdog community. You're welcome. Jaden Daniels, Jacoby Brissett, Michael Penix, Shadur Sanders. I can't believe I'm tilting not getting Geno Smith. What a world. 5 running backs, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, DeAndre Swift, Blake Corum, Katron Allen. Good discussion today about the Rams backfield. Very productive, constructive. Nobody called me a doorknob. CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Michael Wilson, Quentin Johnson, Jaden Reed, Tank Dell, Chris Brazel, Ted Hurst. The Tank Dell pick was kind of a panic selection after the Geno Smith snipe. Otherwise, this seems fine. Tight ends, George Kittle at 128, Dallas Goedert, Brenton Strange. I think I'm like fine with all of this except the quarterback situation. All right, Mr. Brad. What's your team name out of the 6? Oh, yeah, Dabk. Duh. I recognize your username. This is, again, one of those moments where I put the Underdog username together. So Mr. Brad has Hurts, Herbert, and Kirk Cousins. Jonathan Taylor, Kyren Williams. Wow. Asking me, giving me money to roast your team after I already claimed earlier Kyren Williams has to be the worst pick on the board. That takes some stones, good sir. But you yin and yanged it with the Kyren Williams and Bhayshul Tuten, because if there are 2 players who are not being paired together that often, it has to be Kyren Williams and Bhayshul Tuten. Those could not be more opposed from brand selections. Rico Dowdle, James Conner. And then the wide receivers, Drake London, A.J. Brown, Xavier Worthy, Juwan Jennings, Jalen McMillan, Brandon Ayuk, Trey Harris, Ryan Flournoy, Tez Johnson. I'm refusing to draft Tez Johnson after what he did. Was it to his wife? He's trying to hook up with a girl the day he engaged. We got to stand for something. We got to stand. I'm blackballing Tez Johnson after his recent. What did he do again? I barely remember the story now. Tez Johnson's ex-fiance alleges he cheated on her on their engagement day. Until we get to the bottom of this as a community, as a country, a selection of Tez Johnson. For some reason, it's so much funnier that he's like 5'4" too. Dude gets down on one knee. He's got the ring in one hand, and in the other hand, he's texting a booty call. Tyler Warner, Rondé Gadsden, TJ Hawkinson. What are my thoughts on this team? Tight end seems solid. Wide receiver seems solid. It feels like you use some kind of tool or sim software to draft a very balanced team that insulated yourself from truly mean roast comments, except you made one fatal flaw and you selected Kyren, aka Blake Corum's backup at pick 43. I mean, you essentially drafted Kyren Williams 3 times. Kyren Williams, Rico Dowdle, James Conner. You have a team filled with Kyren Williamses and assholes like Tez Johnson. Thank you for the super chat. Hey, Pete, doorknob question, but what is the bracket link? Just looks like a blank pick'em entry. Yeah, I don't know if people are having trouble with it on mobile. I will try to put it in a few spots. I'm going to put it on Twitter after the show. I put it in the Discord in general, and I'll also do an announcement later. I know myself with tailing pick'em entries on Android. For me, sometimes it doesn't work or takes a couple of tries. So yeah, it might be platform specific. One other workaround I've sometimes done is copy and paste a link from Discord or YouTube or whatever and email it to myself. And for some reason, being in an email, I have more success pulling it up. But I will put the link in a few spots, and hopefully through a bit of trial and error, we can find a way to get people in the first ever Deposit Kingdom Underdog bracket battle. If not, hit me up later in the week and we'll try to figure something out. Wow. Frankie Dash. I didn't know where this comment was going to go from the start. I wasn't going to watch any streams this season. Wanted a pure mind. But in the middle of watching this first draft, and it's giving me all the feels. Thanks for sucking me back in, Pete. Okay, you're making this comment in the middle of the first draft. You might not feel that way by the end, brother. We went on a goddamn roller coaster today. On a goddamn roller coaster. Are you people really this miserable that you're taking these comments seriously? Taking a stand on a story you're not sure of? Brother, do you know the amount of assholes that we all draft? It would basically be impossible to draft a fantasy team without just some of the biggest assholes on the planet on it. It would basically be impossible. Someone should do that. We have like a coach speak index. We should get like an ethical index, a moral index. I need someone to rank every player on a scale of 0 to 100 for their morality. And then I can draft the all moral team. Down on one knee, it could barely reach a ring finger. That's why he got distracted and texted. He couldn't get it up there. He's like, I need to take a breather. This other girl's a little shorter. I'll message her. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants the NFL morality tracker, but it would be funny. Someone should start grading everyone's teams based on a moral score. Yes, this is a good point, Nick. Pete, sticky note for next week: 3 QBs by round 13. I do need it. I think it's all right. Let's make a couple rules on the fly. Let's actually make these sticky notes now, and that way I have it, because we'll do it on screen and then I'll actually write it on a sticky note. But let's make a few rules here, because as we established, this is my last draft where I can make excuses. All right, so these are called pre-NFL draft big board drafting rules, all caps. Don't forget. Let's make some rules. All right, number 1. 3 QBs. Why did I go all caps there? 3 QBs by round 13. That's great. Let's make these big. Let's get the Comic Sans flowing. All right. Let's get number 2 here. I mean, we got to do something with, I mean, it's at least, what is it? Is it 2 running backs through? It's definitely through 5, maybe through 3. Never Kyren is good. Come on. Let's see. Never Kyren. Three through 7, 2 RBs through 4. This is kind of, yeah. So we'll amend this. 2 RBs through 4, but never Kyren. I like how I'm getting Excel tips. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be running some pretty insane formulas here, Flyfish. I hope the Comic Sans and the numbers don't mess up my V lookups. Get a QB in rounds 10 and 11. That feels like a little overfitted. I need some good ones here. What are some other things we've learned, guys? Right now, we have 3 QBs by round 13, 2 running backs through 4, but never Kyren. No running backs after round 14. I need hard and fast. I need hard and fast rules. Maybe it's just a short rules list. Draft good players. I can get by that. Draft good players. Okay. Rookies are overrated. 3 late tight ends. Honestly, Sweet Leaf. Honestly, I have preferred my teams when I go late tight end. I mean, I have taken, maybe we just say like no tight ends through 5 right now. Is that too harsh? Is that too harsh? I mean, I've done it. I've done the Brock. I've done the Trey McBride, but I'm putting it up there for right now. Bad rule. It's controversial, but I'm telling you, all the teams look way better with late round tight end. And like the fact that you can go Kittle, Goedert, Strange, I don't know. I'm okay with it. This could be tacked on. No tight ends through 5. Don't be afraid of 4. Any other rules? We now have, do we have any rules about wide receivers? Do we have any rules about wide receivers? You guys don't have to sell me on the elite tight end thesis. I'm generally very pro elite tight end. I like these guys. I've just hated every team in big board season that I've drafted with an early tight end. However, I've also hated every team I've drafted. So maybe elite tight end isn't the variable. Interesting. I'll have to think on that. Only draft alpha wide receivers. I don't think I can put that on there. I got to draft some betas in there every once in a while. Max 4 rookies. That's probably a good bet. I don't have, because I'm still so behind on this draft class, I don't really have a rookie problem right now. Like I don't have a bumblebee addiction in a way that I don't know if I need a rule for that. Yeah, we already have that. C Slave says draft the best players and win it. We have that. Number 3 is draft good players. Draft like a boomer, except if it's Kyren. Yeah, you need QBs where you take Jane Reed. I mean, the biggest no is this first one. I mean, this is what we really have to remember here. That's number 1. I've done enough Ty Simpson. We should look at my quarterback exposures here. Let's see here. So I have done, let's refresh here. Let's look at my quarterback exposure is going to just be the most disgusting thing you've ever seen. So we've done 7 big boards. Let me label these actually too, because if I forget, 316 BBB, little copy, little paste, little copy, little paste, bigger board. So that when one of these teams makes the finals, we can circle back to this stream and all have a great laugh. All right, exposure. I knew it was going to be bad. Imagine spacing out your entries only to have your highest exposure quarterback be Michael fucking Penix. And that's not just entry fees. That's percentage. 37.5% of my 8 teams have Michael Penix. Followed by Drake May, Jalen Hurts, Malik Willis. There's your Ty Simpson. Jacoby Brissett, Shadur Sanders. These are the quarterback exposures of a man who has not been following this rule. 3 quarterbacks by round 13. Unbelievable. Running backs, Kenneth Walker, Bucky Irving, Tajay Spears, Emmett Johnson, Josh Jacobs. Yeah, anytime you can have the RB3 on Tennessee be your third highest exposure running back. I do like, all it took was one draft. Or no, I guess I've drafted Corum on 2 teams. One big board, one bigger board. I don't mind Kenneth Walker, whatever. Wide receiver, Travis Hunter, look at that. 62.5%. That's conviction. KC Concepcion, Michael Wilson, Jaden Reed, Jordan Addison. My other guys over 37.5%. Tight end, Harold Fannin, Gunnar Helm, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange, George Kittle, Dalton Schultz, Sam Laporta. What the rest of these are whatever, but Michael Penix, having spent $120 on Michael Penix, and it's less the volume. I mean, that's still only 3 teams, but there's just something funny about 37.5% and Michael Penix next to each other. And my guy, Zach Robinson, not even there. Not even there anymore. To shepherd young Michael Penis. Get out of here. I can't do this. We're not going back to the fruit debate. I feel like I've already lived a million lives today. Avocado is a vegetable. There's good people on both sides of the oat milk and the almond milk debate. I'll do a better job not spreading out my entries so we can get a little board 19. My underdog meeting is actually in 8 minutes. I'll report back for you little board people. I'll report back. Rest of the week, tomorrow ADP chasing, Swolecast, and off and on the clock. I think we might do some maybe a little more bracket challenge on off and on the clock. That could be fun. And should have a ship chasing for you later this week. I've been trying to get everybody nailed down on a time. But yeah, that is the week ahead. Join that Deposit Kingdom contest once you can figure out how to get in with the links. And I will see you guys next week for Best Ball Breakfast. Thank you to producer Mark. Thank you to everyone in the chat who made their voice heard by either calling me a doorknob or voting in the polls. By next week, I will have no more excuses. I cannot pretend like I'm rusty next week. I'm going to have my handy rules, and I will be ready to draft the winner in a way that I have not been prepared to do so over the past 3 weeks. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.